Hi. For this video, I'm probably going to do a little bit more talking than what I normally do, but I'm going to do it with an understanding and an intention. So in all of the work that I have put together for trauma-informed movement, one of the key components is trauma stifles, voice, choice, and agency. And so tonight I'm going to teach a small flow, giving choices and understanding that when we give choices to our students, oftentimes we don't know what they're bringing to us when they come to a class or a private or a duet. So offering them like what feels best for their body. And I think it's really important to begin to explore, like even if your own body, like if you're so used to being as an instructor, a lot of times it's hard because we're so prescripted to teaching like a rollback, exactly like how it needs to be done. But I think with trauma-informed movement, just getting people to move in their body and begin to feel comfortable in it is where I'm coming from. I'm not moving outside of the Pilates principles. I'm just enhancing them is all that we're doing. So let's just start with sitting with as we begin, you can sit with your legs crossed, extended. Maybe you feel better with them out to the sides, but choose a position with your legs that's comfortable for you. And allow your hands to rest on the floor, on your thighs, or even on your shins if you'd like. So with the first portion of it, I want you to check in. So maybe wiggle and jiggle in your seat and allow yourself to start to feel grounded through your hip bones. And as we begin to find that groundedness, maybe even shifting back and forth, just to give yourself that little bit of what I'm going to call the wiggle room to help you settle in to this practice. So let's begin by just taking a big, deep breath in. And then as you exhale, just begin to let it go and notice how it feels. And one more breath in. And then as you exhale, let it go. But if you're compelled to bring one hand to your heart and one hand to your abdomen, to begin to feel the rise and fall of your breath. And as you begin to connect with your breath, notice how your breath is. Can you feel more of the inhale and exhale in the upper portion of your lungs, or can you feel it deep within your belly? And just be with whatever comes up for you. So the answer is without judgment. So continue to notice how your breath is. Is it smooth? Is it choppy? Do you find yourself even pausing, maybe even holding your breath? So let's do 2 more breaths like this. And as you complete that second breath, let your hands rest on the tops of your thighs. Now you can continue sitting in stillness. I would invite you, if it feels right, to go ahead and close your eyes. But I want you to begin to put a little bit of movement, if you feel compelled to put a little bit of movement through your torso. Now it could be front to back, side to side, maybe just even more of a rocking motion. But again, listen to what your body, so again, these are choices, but I want you to choose something that your body is asking you to do. And as you're doing that, stay connected with your hip bones on the mat, wherever you are. So if maybe you get the luxury of watching this outside. Now let's go ahead and reverse and go to the other side. Now, does the same side need the same movement as what the first side did? And after you've completed maybe 2 more rounds with this side, let's take one hand to the floor beside you. And again, I'm going to give you options for the arm. So you can start with your hand out in front of you. And we're going to do some side bending here. Taking that arm up and over. Now, I've had people say to me, that doesn't feel good. Maybe side bending with your hand across your upper chest. Or maybe it comes behind your head. And then wherever you are, come up part way. And then go ahead and side bend one more time. Bring it back to center. Now stack yourself right up tall. And now let's go to the other side. And notice even the side differences here of how it feels. So let's go ahead and take, again, so if you know that one side is tighter than the other, so let's go ahead and take it to the other side. And as you pause here, I want you to maybe take a breath in. Can you feel your ribs beginning to expand and contract here? As you bring it up, did you have to change any of the positioning? And it's fine if you had to. From here, I'd like you to take the hands. I want you to bring the palms of your hands together and begin to create a little bit of heat and friction. And I'm going to demonstrate, and I want you to follow. So watch me first, and then we're going to have you do it as well. So I want you to take the hands, create warmth and energy in them. We're going to take the heels of our hands, and we're going to cover our eyes. And as you cover your eyes, let your fingertips first start by just resting on your forehead, or even in the hairline. And as you do this, can you begin to allow yourself to fold forward with your hands and your elbows supporting you as you're coming forward, like you're a cascading waterfall. And then once you're down there, let the head hang heavy. So your hands are supporting your head here. And take a couple of more big deep breaths in. And just notice what comes up. And now with your next breath, you're going to bring yourself all the way back up. And let's go ahead and pause here. And now we're going to let you have a try. So I want you to begin by rubbing the palms of your hands together. Pardon me. And creating that heat between your hands. Take the heels of your hands and place them over your eyes, just gently. And begin to allow yourself. So again, if you have to shift and change your legs to be more comfortable, then please do so. And then come out and over. Let your elbows support you. So if your elbows come to the tops of your thighs, let them support you. And again, just allow what's coming up without judgment, but more with curiosity. Let's take one more breath here. And now go ahead and begin to bring yourself up. And as you come up, I want you to take your finger, the thumb and forefingers between your hands. And I want you to bring them to the sides of your face, right in front of your ears. So I'd like you to open and close your mouth really wide. So the next time you open it, find that hinge of where your jaw opens and closes. And I want you to start circling, just gentle circular motions here of your around that joint. So if you want to have tension in your face, in your jaw, maybe you're one that grinds your teeth at night, this feels really good. So circling just maybe a couple of more times in this direction. And then I want you to take your thumb. So keep your fingers on the sides of your face, but I want you to bring your fingers or your thumb under your chin. I just want you to begin to move your thumb forward in a gentle motion here. And notice, does this create a sense of urgency to swallow as you stimulate the saliva glands under your chin. And now let's go ahead and just bring your hands back down. And as you're sitting here, I want you to let your eyes drift over to, so your head is going to stay facing the camera, and I want you to let your eyes drift over to the right. Or we're going to do both sides, so it doesn't matter. But what I'd like you to do is keep your eyes a hard right or left, and you're going to hold it there until you do one of three things. You swallow, you do a double sigh, or a yawn. Then once you've done one of those three things, bring yourself back to center, and let's go ahead and take your eyes in the opposite direction, all the way over to the left or right. And you're gonna, once again, you're gonna hold your eyes there till you swallow, double sigh, or yawn. And if this is the first time you're doing this, you might have a hard time, or you might even only have one side that causes you to have that kind of a reaction. And that's perfectly normal. So from here, I'd like you to just bring your hands, sit up nice and tall, and let's just begin by tucking your fingers underneath. So I'm going to incorporate here a little bit more movement now, but I still want you to think about moving and giving choices. Now, if you are new to Pilates, I want you to take yourself really slow when you're doing this. If you're sitting in a chair, come to the edge of the chair to roll yourself back. And let's take this back. And again, notice how far your body can come back. And let's roll it back for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now come all the way up, and I want you to stay upright. Bring your hand to the outside of your opposite foot, or excuse me, outside of your opposite knee, and bring your other hand behind you, and just find a twist here. And notice how that feels in your body, in your back. Come back to center. And now let's go ahead and take it to the other side. So bringing that hand behind you, and come all the way up, back up. Now from here, we're gonna come all the way down onto our backs. And I want you to, before you, as you come down, I want you to allow yourself to feel the support, especially like your shoulders, your neck, and your upper back to be grounded on whatever you're laying on. And now let your hands just fall down beside you and notice what comes up here. Notice any sensations. And now from here, press your feet into the floor. And again, this is your choice. So you're going to choose a bridge pose. Maybe you choose to stay low, maybe high, or if you practice yoga, you might want to come up and have it be a little bit bigger. But again, I want you to think about, what does your body need? So moving your body intuitively and with curiosity is really a big piece of this. So I want you to think about where your body needs to go. Now, lower all the way down. And now I want you to choose another one. So maybe you want to choose to stay down, or maybe you're going to choose to come up. So it's allowing choices. So bringing yourself to a bridge pose that speaks to you. And then release yourself all the way down. Now I want you to bring your feet onto the mat, if they're not. And we're going to just let your legs glide to one side. So I want you to think about your shoulders, and you're just going to let them glide side to side. And notice if your feet are up, like in this first couple, I have your feet staying on the mat. And if this is not a version that you have experienced before, maybe it feels a little odd or awkward, so you can continue doing this version, or you can also add in, so if you turn your head, if your legs are going to the right, turn your head to the left. Bring it through center and then go to the other side, turning in the other direction. So now you've got one version and two versions. Now the third version is probably one that we're pretty much all familiar with, but bring your hands out to a T position and just roll, letting your head and your shoulders come back, and then go to the other side. So your head is rotating in the opposite direction. The other option that you could also do here is to take your arms overhead and go side to side. And I think it's important for you to choose the movement that speaks to your body. So let's take it, excuse me, one more time in each direction. And then bring your feet back on the mat. And I'm gonna give you two more choices here. So the first one is I want you to think about your body rocking. So it's a gentle, no, let me rephrase that. It's a movement going back and forth. However, you might be somebody who wants a lot of movement, and that's perfectly fine. Or maybe you just want a small amount of movement. You can also extend your legs and pump your feet. So your feet are doing more of the motion here, but again, it's giving you that sense of choice and speed, where your legs are in relation to the rest of your body. But I want you to move a couple more times with your feet or your legs. And then wherever you are, I want you to pause. And I want you to either stay on your back or you can come up to a seated position, however that looks for you this evening. And as you come up, again, let your hands rest where they're going to be. But find a position that's comfortable for you. So with this being said, we're going to come in, you're going to have some choices here. So if you're upright, and even if you're on your back, you can bring the soles of your feet together and you can just let them open. If you're seated, you can stay upright. You can fold forward, coming a little bit more forward, depending on how your back is feeling with this. But choose where you need to be. And breathe into that space in your lower back. And then with your next breath, come up to, if you're leaning forward, come up to a seated position. If you're on your back, you can stay on your back. You can also roll into a fetal position on either side. But I want you to pause there. And as you pause, just take a couple of really big, wherever you are, a couple of really nice big deep breaths in and deep breaths out. And maybe reconnecting back to that breath if you choose to.